Alright, it's 7 o'clock and evidently Arthur is not gonna make it, so we just call the meeting into order. We do have a quorum, so Ross, would you mind reading the previous minutes?
Absolutely. So the meeting was September 13th. Scott Tate called the meeting order. Quorum was noted. Attending were Scott Tate, myself, Nick Stabler, Rucker Ravizard, Scooter Sanders, and Jeff Price. It was noted that in the August meeting that I was not present. The change was noted and minutes were approved. Finance report was presented. Under training, I explained the process to get a Class C license through the SC Fire Academy. Corey Sanford will be setting up a driving test for these. Corey's also hosting a hazmat ops class this week in St. Matthews, and he's working on getting a pump ops class started for the county. We'll also try for a technical rescue class again, pending an instructor. The ESO software has been ordered for our fire reporting. County is going ahead with the burn building, with the fire coordinator overseeing it. County Training Commission was dissolved by its members. Doors and openers have been ordered for Belvos and Creston stations. Jeff reminded everyone that the forestry grants are open, VSIP grants soon to follow, urged everyone to apply. I also stated that the FEMA grants are now being awarded. Also informed the commission that the county is looking to pass a recovery ordinance for emergency response. I asked that the commission purchase a sign with the Rural Fire District seal and a flagpole for the commission office. It was approved and the meeting was adjourned.
I move that we accept the minutes as read.
I'll second.
So it be accepted as read. Finance report.
Alright, we'll start off with 3120 court building, all liability, workman's comp, all that's been paid. We've got $14,832.23 left there. All insurance is paid up for the year, so we're in good shape there. Management consultant, $10,000. I did have to pay a couple of bills out of that from last year, so we're still in pretty good shape there. We'll get more into the firefighter physicals later on in the meeting. Radio contracts, still in good shape there. I do not believe, yes, it is, it has, the month of October has come out of that. Pump hose testing, haven't done any of that. Hose test, the pump testing will be coming up around October 31st, that week, starting that Monday and working on through Tuesday, maybe into Wednesday, unless that changes. So we're in good shape on that line item. Vehicles and maintenance. Mike Petings has already done Fort Knox trucks. He's already done Midway's trucks. He's moving the jumper station next. He's on the ball. He's got filters and that stuff ordered, and from there he's going to go to Belleville and Calhoun.
Excellent.
And he'll be getting up with you on the new rescue truck. What you want done with it,
Okay.
what's been done, what hasn't
I
been
want
done.
everything done, because the truck sat up for a year, okay? So I want everything done.
That's fine. So, we're still in good shape there. Vehicles. They got something misprinted here some kind of way. 4302, 1,000, we have spent none of that. So, evidently the computer jumped the line out.
Where's that, Jim?
What line you on?
4302.
4302.
4302.
Right under repair and maintenance.
Yeah, I was just reading the
Okay.
same thing as
Okay.
equipment maintenance. We spent $25,599 out of that so far. Vehicles, okay, that is correct, that's what Scott is, that's the line item that Mike gets paid out of, so that is correct. Building maintenance, we paid for some door repairs out of that. Y'all's door repairs are coming, they got me the quotes, I've approved them, and it's just a matter of getting the openers in, it's like everything else. I've also gotten the renewed quotes for Preston, and that is pretty much the same as it was. It is, for the openers on it, 8825.16 for 5 openers. I got the quote for Belleville. We are not gonna be able to do Belleville's to replace the door like James wanted it, and we'd agreed upon it earlier. They've done away with the door they quoted 2 years ago. That would now cost $26,798 for a new door, and I'll get with James on that, figure out what he wants to do, but I'm not
Big difference.
proceeding with that yet.
Big difference.
Yeah, it was around 9,000.
Wow.
Communications, that's for my telephone, we're good shape there. Security system, half of it comes out of our budget, half of it comes out of Donnie's budget, we're good there. Other, that 6511 has not been spent, but it's been encumbered. That's for the camper, the cover on my truck, the rollout sled, and the winch bumper, or the winch mount.
And you just waiting on all that to come in?
I'm waiting on that to come in. Transportation, nothing out of that. Subsistence, I've paid some fire academy fees out of that. I'm looking to get some more from there. All of the training, recruitment, retention, nothing out of that so far this year. Office supplies, I spent $828.31, and that includes some cleaning supplies for this building, and some new paper towel holders that, matches everything else in the county, so I can just go to them now and get paper towels. Gasoline and energy, that's for my truck, we're still in good shape there. Outside agencies, nothing has been taken out of that yet. I still need quarterly reports from Nick and Joe, and I did talk with Scooter on that,
Well, which one is that, Jeff?
and Fort Knox,
Well, which one is that?
the quarterly report.
Okay, I'll let Johnny do that.
Yep, and then Johnny's, I was starting to worry about Johnny, she's usually right on the spot for hers. First day or two of the month, she's got hers in, so
She'll get it.
hope she's doing well.
She is.
Vehicles, that's for maintenance, and possibly helping buy new vehicles if needed, or replace vehicles with used vehicles, nothing out of that. Miscellaneous equipment, we've bought cameras and some other items out of that, so we're still good there. We're, well within our budget.
Yeah. While we were in finance, the $197,000 was taken from our accounts to pay for, I think they told us it would pay for a truck in Fort Knox.
Preston,
What is the story on that? Because we never have gotten that back.
we'll know when this audit is done.
What do people know then? What do you mean we'll know?
They're doing the audit now, Donna,
I mean, are we gonna know if we get it back, or?
Yeah.
We will get it back.
and,
Oh, we're definitely getting it back.
Yes, we gonna get that back.
yeah, it's, the way the, budget works for the rural fire district, because it's fire fees that provide us, and 20% of the, 26% of the local option sales tax money, what we don't spend goes into a fund balance that is ours for trucks or anything else we may end up
Any
using.
big items you need, yeah. That's
Oh,
what we set aside.
I explained to you how that mistake was made, that person's no longer here. The new finance director, Donna, are trying to work through that with the
Okay.
auditors.
You're saying she's no longer here, but the question came up tonight, in the annex. And we were trying to find that money or what it was, and you thought it got mixed up with some airpack money or something, remember that? And Denise said, wait a minute, she said, you talking about the money y'all carried forward. She got it, went and got it immediately. It was $197,000, that's why I know that.
Exactly. And what happened after she left and that money disappeared from our, fund balance, I got to talking with Donna, and she said, well, it was the air tax. And I said, no. And I went and looked, and she said it was $260,000. And I got to looking, no, it was not $260,000 for air tax. Basically what happened was county council approved buying that last tanker out of, capital funds. Well, that was supposed to be delivered before June 30th.
Right.
It didn't get delivered because of different reasons with the manufacturers and whatnot until August the 17th of the following fiscal year. So we were a month and a half late getting that truck. When Denise did the budget for that year, she did not budget, the one budget year had already run out. That $260,000 wasn't spent. But it also wasn't rebudgeted for the next year, 2018, from 2017 to 2018, to pay for that truck. So the county did pay for it. But when the auditors went in looking to figure out what our fund balance was and all that, they noticed that $260,000 bill not budgeted for that item was paid for out of our funds, and that's why that $197,000 was spent. Donna has been working, she's aware of it, she's been talking with John and Richard, and now the new finance director, we gotta get the auditors involved to figure out how to move that money back from the county's fund balance to the rural fire district's fund balance.
But this has taken a long time.
It has. See, I thought it was to be done right after the new finance director got here, is what we were told.
Well,
But,
the new finance director, I'm not an accountant. He has different ideas and different ways of working than Denise did. And the first thing he had to do was go in and figure out where everything stood from previous years, so he's working on it.
Who in
And
the
I'm
county,
gonna have him at the next commission
yeah,
meeting.
have him here, because we need to find out about this. I mean, our
Then I'll
money,
be winding up with the audit by then.
if this is gonna happen, this is really gonna work, I'd like the commission to think about, and when we got our budget, is spend it, we have to keep a certain amount, a certain percentage, a small, But I'd like for the commission to spend that money down. If we don't get it back by then, I don't want any more to go left in this budget. Because it's gone.
well, I mean, the way it happened, it was a problem, that's our overlapping budgets.
Yep.
It was an accident, we just need to get it back.
What bothers me about this is $197,000. That tanker cost $270 what, Cal?
$267,000.
Okay. They had to do it, because how could you pay for $260,000 truck with $197,000?
Yeah.
I mean,
I-
in all actuality,
It had to be realized in there.
in all actuality, we're gonna
We
get
find it.
more than 197 to our
Just,
fund balance.
tell him we need to set a date that that's gonna be back in now. That one.
Can I ask a question? Is there anything in writing showing that this $197,000 is owed back to the fire association from the county?
Not that I know of.
Not really. We were in a meeting one night, and somebody asked what the fund balance was. At the time, one of our goals was to save our rural fire district money, save enough money to buy an engine. The rural fire district's gonna pay for it. And this was when Lee and Ted, Lee was the administrator, and when I was first hired, their big concern was making sure we were fiscally responsible.
Okay.
So I said, well, one of my goals is for us to save enough money out of the rural fire district budget, year by year, to pay for a pumper tanker that we've kind of spec'd out to be our
That's
engine for the
basically,
rural fire district.
okay,
And he said that would be great. And I said, well, the thing is, if we save enough money to buy one, we're gonna ask Calhoun County to match it with the second one out of capital funds.
Can I inject something on that? I want us as commissioners to make sure they're committed to that before we buy the first. That they're gonna buy the second.
here's
If we
my,
don't, we may buy them all. If we end up buying one.
here's my only suggestion. If the money was taken out and there's no paper trail and nobody's recorded it in writing,
It's paper trail.
where, so that's what I asked, so there is a paper trail that this?
Yeah. It just hasn't
It's
been
gotta be
written
a
out
paper trail
that,
that was taken
there
out.
hasn't been an IOU written out by the
And
county.
that's how I found it, is through the budget, the old budgets that, or the way, Donna found it, that 260 was budgeted one year, it wasn't budgeted next year. It was
What year
taken
was
out.
that happen?
I believe it was 2017 and 2018.
Okay, so 2017 to 2018 split, okay.
And in, it was either August of 2018, I believe it was August of 2019, after the audit of that budget year, that's when it was found. We were told we had $197,000 in our fund balance, and then the next year, that had dropped down to $27,000 in our fund balance.
See, Lee did this, made this, when Lee Prickett was here, we worked with him, he set this thing up, and he was gonna fix it, well, we could carry it on this fall.
Okay.
Right then, in a meeting one night, that when the money came up missing, I asked a question, and John told me that we could not carry money forward, you remember that?
Yeah, that
He
was,
told us we could not carry money forward.
That was
I correct, I
just
said, no, that was set up and we could.
John who said that? John McLaughlin
Mhm.
he,
stated
he
that?
was mistaken, the county can't carry money forward on a budget, but we as a commission can.
We can carry our fund balance, what we don't spend, if we budget a certain amount of money, and what's different with us, we know within a good ballpark of what our fire fees are gonna bring every year, because more times than not, that is added, houses are added to the county, and I always build our budget on the amount of fire fees we collected last year. Same way with the local option sales tax. That varies some with gas prices and all of that. The more gas costs, the more local option sales tax usually pays, because you're paying more taxes for that price. And, that always balances out pretty good, so last year we drew in about, I can't go by this because the fire fee was $50, it's since been raised to $80, but I took that number that we got from fire fee money, divided it by 50. Okay, so that's
I
so
have
many,
the fire fee numbers on my phone if you want.
so many thousand houses times 80, and that's how you come up with the budget number to work to.
Well, can we, cause you said he's gonna meet with us next time.
And I'll start
If
with
you
you.
look have him kind of tell us, let's find out when this is gonna be put back in there. the one that gets, stays out the hardest.
It's gone on too
It's
long,
been a
really,
long time.
it's gone on too long.
And another thing really bothers me, how important is the fire service in this county?
Yeah. We've all
It's
done
Yeah, I
that.
think that's a given.
All right,
Everybody knows that.
compares to EMS and sheriff's department, law enforcement, and fire. Which one is the, I think he's just as important as the others.
But you're right, we get short shrift a lot
Well,
of
this
times.
county gets about $14 million a year in taxes. So,
It's at 18.1, Nick.
how much?
18.1.
18.1? Oh, well, okay. How can we find out what the budget for the EMS department is?
I have it, I'll send it to you tomorrow.
Okay.
I have the current this year budget for every department in the county, itemized to everybody's cell phone and it's public information. I'm happy to share it with you.
Jeff, what is our
Everybody
budget?
in the county ought to
You
have that
submitted, what is
information.
our budget? We approved it. I can't remember, it's 500,000, somewhere in that range?
No, it's, $772,493.
Okay. I'll bet you the EMS budget is probably $3 or $4 million.
I mean, they have different needs.
It's not that high.
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm guessing.
They gotta pay a lot of salaries on it.
Yeah,
I don't have it in front of me, so I don't wanna quote a number, but I know it's not that high. But it's broken out, so EMS has a budget, and then there's a separate budget for basically the 911 communication, and then there's the sheriff's department budget. I'll get it to you tomorrow.
Okay.
yeah, we
I
get
just like to know
salaries.
because I think we come up on the short end of this home. I think it's just as important as any other organization in this county.
So I'll make a motion to approve the financial report as written.
One second.
All those in favor? Say aye. That motion passes. All right, training report.
Then for software, I finally talked with somebody today, we are gonna have a phone call tomorrow and get that moving. I've had to show my bud a couple times with that. It's a shame when you're ready to spend money and somebody don't want, it's a shame when you're ready to spend money and somebody don't wanna talk to you about their product.
I missed the last meeting here, but did Randy ever get his? I know he was gonna get his a little bit early, he hadn't got it yet.
I just talked with her today and we are working toward that tomorrow.
Good.
Excuse me, we skipped something. Ross, can you give us an update on what Corey's got going on in town?
Yes, training report, so the hazmat ops class, the second one for the county is this week, 10/11 to 10/16, at St. Matthews. So I know I pushed it out, you've heard from me, at least 2 commission meetings prior, this class was coming up to get with me, Corey, or Jeff to get the link to sign you guys up to this class that needed. Corey had 5 people in the class. Because it's an in-house class, he can still host it, but if anybody drops out until the end of the class, then everybody's gonna have to wait until another class comes up for them to go and take their tests and their practicals. Alright, so we're not bringing these classes up, just to tell you what we got going on. If you got guys that need these classes, we really need you to get you guys signed up, because if you don't get them signed up, then they're gonna miss out, and they're not gonna be able to take the next class that comes along.
And we're just putting it out to the separate stations, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what, we have some people need it, but they don't Orangeburg got it.
Okay, just future reference, if we have a class coming up, you say you need people happy with need it, make sure they're signing up, cause we don't want anybody to miss out. Don't have a date set for the Class E, the driving portion of it. If you've got guys that are gonna wanna do the Class E driver portion through the fire academy, they need to go as quick as possible to the DMV and get their Class E permits. It'll be $250 for the written test, $250 for their Class E permit. Don't have to have it 30 days before the driving portion from the fire academy. Once you take the driving portion through the fire academy, that paperwork they give you is only valid for 30 days for you to get back to the highway department to get it changed from a permit to a regular Class E license. That's something that's being slowly implemented throughout the state, as far as I know, as far as a prerequisite or requirement for people to be able to drive the fire apparatus is that Class E license. Puts a little bit of damper on the volunteer community, Because you've got several people that have, you know, been around for a long time that they're not gonna put forth the effort to go and sit down in DMV and take another test and get another license, because they just don't have the time to do it. It's something we gotta work towards, okay? Corey's still planning the 1156, or the hybrid fire one class for the end of January, or about the end of January, and that'll run through sometime in March. He went and talked with Miss Miranda the other day about setting the date for it, and then, as far as the practicals go, I'm sure he was able to put down Calhoun County for where they'll be doing their burn practicals. He just told her that'll be pending completion. That's all I got for training classes.
All right.
Do you think Corey for us is hard work?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
All right.
He's taking a load off of
Yeah, he's doing a great
me
job.
trying to get classes scheduled with him being an instructor. It makes it a lot easier for him to do what he's at.
Old business.
We've done talked about the
Different.
incident reporting, the burn building, as everybody knows, it's gonna continue, or they've already graded on it. Cody's gonna go out Thursday and sheet grade on it and stake it and try to finish up any grading that needs to be done. And then we'll start with pouring concrete, and then setting the containers. I have talked with all the training officers that was on the committee that have been available to talk to. They're starting to put ideas together on how to stack the boxes. If we wanna do a different configuration than we had before, what to do on the insides of them and all of that. It's not gonna be this is how I'm gonna do it, Jeff Price thing. It's gonna be input from every training officer in the town.
Good.
Good.
Any estimate on the timeline for completion? Maybe we get some burns in this winter?
I'm pushing
Likely.
Good.
before the end of the year.
Excellent.
It's not a complicated process, it's just,
Much easier to do live burns in the wintertime than it is in the summer because of the
It's
heat.
all over like cooler.
So,
I think the burn building a lot.
we actually have people fainting and falling out if you try to do it in the summertime.
stated a while ago during the finance report, y'all giving me the go-ahead on both the Belleville and the Creston doors and openers. I'm going ahead with the Creston, it was 88-25-16. That money was budgeted. I'm putting the Belleville on hold until I can get more quotes or thoughts or ideas and get with James. I'm not spending $26,000 on a boat.
Do you have a date set yet for the Creston doors?
It should be within the next week or two.
Okay, good.
Depends on if he can get openers or not. Those are different openers down there because they're roll-up style doors. They're a different door than what we've had on the other stations. But it's just a matter of getting them ordered and the time it takes to get them in. I don't know how
Hopefully it ain't gonna be on a slow boat from China.
our supply chain is today.
Can I ask a question? How old do you have to be volunteer firefighter?
14.
I was asking
You
because,
can be a junior firefighter at 14.
You can be a junior firefighter at 14. You can start doing some training exercises with your fire department. You can start taking classes. But
14.
15, it's 14 or 15.
14.
So the Explorer program starts at 14.
Well,
You
But
have
that's
to-
very limited on what you could do. You can't go in
you have
and
to-
burn
this-
buildings and
this-
stuff.
This is from the fire. yeah,
Okay.
As far as I know.
well, the reason I was asking is because Keith and I were at a high school in Blythewood a few weeks ago, and it was a very nice high school, lots more money than this county has, but they had a burn building on the facility at the high school, and they were training, it seemed that they were
Wow.
training their students.
That-
So that could be maybe where you could recruit some people if you need people, is the high school. Just a suggestion or an idea.
Just like our junior firefighters, you can send them through fire academy training, but they do not become certified until they're 18 years old. If they have all the training before then, if they're doing it in class, Just because they get to run that sawing class or wear that air packing class, they cannot wear it on a fire scene until they turn 18 years old, if they've met certification. And a lot of the high schools are starting programs where they teach your basic firefighting and try to get them all the way up to firefighter 2 by the time they graduate high school.
But yes, recruiting out of high school is a good idea, and one we would probably do more of if we had the personnel to do it. I mean, a lot of these guys are working full-time jobs, they got all this training and stuff, and just to ask them to do one more
Yeah.
thing, it's just,
Oh, I get
You
it,
know?
I totally do.
I think a big difference, not just funding wise, but somewhere like Blytheswood in Richland County, they could come out of school, fire two certified, go through direct hire program and be on the salary with Columbia Fire Department. They go through a program here, we don't have a career waiting for them.
Right.
So we can get them to training, but we get you trained and offer you a volunteer spot, and then you can get a Christmas party check once a year, you know, that's not, that's.
Right.
You can't make a living on
reimbursement,
it, right.
reimbursement check.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get anybody off track, I was just.
No, that's okay.
No,
I always need new ideas for recruiting volunteers. It's one of our most difficult challenges is trying to get enough volunteers.
all right, new business.
All right, Carolyn called me the other day, yesterday as a matter of fact, and said Randy was having issues with North Greenville Fitness. His firefighter physicals are due, Cameron's are due, Midway's are due. Fort Knox been scheduled twice by North Greenville Fitness, they've been canceled twice. Cameron's been scheduled once, they've been canceled once. Carolyn called me and said that she'd heard through Randy and other sources that North Greenville Fitness was no longer doing the mobile firefighter physicals. I called North Greenville Fitness, and they want to continue to do them, they're trying to continue to do them. They have a problem with health right now. Trying to keep health, they're fighting hospitals and doctors' offices that's promising more than they are. They don't have to go on the road during the week and spend nights in motels, all that. They raised their salaries about $4,000, but Fort Mott, Cameron, and Midway, and I don't know if you've gotten your "we're not doing them yet" letter.
I haven't heard anything yet. I
Well-
haven't seen it, I'll put it that way, and I was, or actually next week.
They won't, be able to reschedule these departments until January. And that'll be 3 months without them having a proper
Can't do that.
physical. So I looked up some stuff online, I found plenty of places from Michigan, Tampa, Florida. I also found Spartanburg Regional Medical. They offer a firefighter physical, mobile. The difference is Greenville Fitness come in and set up in our buildings all of their equipment, and we've done it in there, in one of our buildings. Spartanburg Regional does it off of a bus. They bring a bus down, you put the first firefighter on the bus, they start him, he goes to the next call, they bring another one in, and you just rotate through the bus as it goes.
That seems okay.
The only issue is they charge whatever the federal going rate is per mile for travel for that bus. So, and I sent out the email this afternoon, after I found out the information, to find out if Fort Mott, Cameron, and Midway were willing to go with Spartanburg Regional, and it will be sometime after the 1st of November. It'll be in the next 30 to 60 days, or 30 days. They bring the bus down here to the lower end of the county, do Fort Mott, Midway, Cameron one day. I called Christian Wolf and talked with him. He's always set up the firefighter physicals for call, Jumper Station, and Sandy Run to do them together. And I did talk with him some yesterday at the, council meeting about this. He called North Greenville Fitness today and talked to one gentleman. He said, I think we could probably get y'all, we do have one crew going, but, we can't get everybody with one crew. He said, I'll have Anna, it's a new girl that works there that does all this mobile scheduling now, and he's supposed to call Christian tomorrow.
So we might still be able to use that.
Sandy Runway.
Oh, but he can't do everybody.
He won't be able to do everybody on that, with that one crew, that one day that they normally come down. He'll be able to do what he normally does. Christian said he wanted to wait and see how that went, what she tells him. He's willing to use Spartanburg Regional with the bus, and the day they come down and do the lower end of the county, the next day they'll station in the upper end of the county and catch those. And that'll save us on mileage, 2 trips from Spartanburg to here. I don't know how far it is exactly, but around 62 cents a mile. We've already budgeted this money, and we could move money around and add to it if we had to. I've also called Zarina Harmon with the South Carolina State Firefighters Association. I called Susan Duncan with the Fire Marshal's office, asking if she had anything. And Susan did call me back around 5:30. I proposed a question to her, did she know anybody? And she said, no, that's really not out of our department. I cannot tell you anybody. She said, called the South Carolina Firefighters Association. I said, I have called Zarina and left a message with her. I'm sure she'll get back to me tomorrow. I know at one of the, state conferences, conventions up here in Columbia several times, I talked with somebody from Florence that does this. I'm gonna try to see if Serena can get me their number so I can get quotes from them too. Their process, is it like North Greenville Fitness, is it like, Spartanburg Regional? And Kristen also told me he was gonna contact some of the chiefs in Lexington County to see who they use and check and see if those are available. But this is something, it's not gonna be based all on price, it's got to be based on quickness, because,
Don't need to wait.
some of these guys, toward the end of the month, their
Yep.
physical will be running out.
Gotta be done. Is the price fairly comparable though with Spartanburg and Greenville, other than the mileage? Or did you?
I will know more tomorrow when I actually talk with the woman that sets up all of that handles all of the mobile physical for Spartanburg.
But I agree, it has to be done regardless.
So, I mean, if they're close, if it's in the budget, we'll go ahead with it. And if not, we'll have to seek other options. Another option may be also that I was made aware of today is the possibility of Orangeburg Medical Center doing, Orangeburg Calhoun, TRMC, doing them for us at the St. Matthew's office here in town. Each firefighter would have to make his way there and back and all of that. The only question and issue I have with that, I talked with Orangeburg County about who did their physicals, and up until this year, they had been using Orangeburg Calhoun Hospital to do theirs. But they were very unsatisfied with how they were doing, and, they had actually planned on going back to using North Greenville Fitness like they used to. And I informed them, well, y'all better call North Greenville Fitness.
Why was Randy unhappy with North Greenville? Didn't you say Randy was unhappy with
No,
North
No,
Greenville?
he wasn't unhappy with them, they just can't do it.
Oh,
They only have 2 employees.
cancellations, okay.
Yeah,
They
they
only
don't
have
have
2
enough
employees left.
employees, cancellations, they don't have enough employees to do all that they've got scheduled. And they can't hire them. They're trying, but as I was talking
That's
with
it, we
her
got
yesterday,
nail on this.
Yep.
Yes, it's it.
as I was talking with Anna yesterday, she said, as a matter of fact, I had an interview today to interview a person to fill one of these spots, and they never showed up. So, I mean, nobody's upset with North Greenville Fitness, they got us in a bind. They could have been a little bit more forthcoming, but.
Yeah, instead of just canceling the appointments for, or things for no reason, they should have let us know what was going on sooner. What can you do?
Got it, is that you, Dennis, you got it?
Any other new business?
Yes, I got to have some concrete poured. We fixing to have a big problem with our station, you know, we get ponds of water running from the station, where the asphalt is sinking. I got a quote, and I think it's $15,000.
All right. Add that.
I need to have a roof on the station, that's been 2 years ago, I should have, supposed to gotten that, you know, requested it.
We might have to do some changing, especially with this door for Belleville being where it's at. We still got some money we can
We can move it around.
move around and do with. The only thing I'm gonna have to have on your concrete at that price
3 bids.
is
Three
3 quarters.
bids.
So,
Alright,
uh,
it'll be tough for me to get it when I get it.
and
It'll be $15,000 to do it.
I'll look at that, and I'll start looking for some concrete
Yeah.
finishers too.
Let me go back and get it, because that, I think if I remember correctly, that was if I moved the asphalt out.
Okay.
And right now, I just don't have the time to do that.
All right.
So it may increase from that, because you know, I just don't have the time to do it right now.
I understand that.
So let me see what that's going to cost, but it's going, I know the concrete and pouring it and, whatever they do is $15,000. And I have got to have a roof on the station. I go on the station, I look out and see the light.
All
We
right.
get a lot of leaks,
I've already got the measurements on that, I'll start working on that again, especially with the Belleville.
but I need to get that on there.
I agree with you there. Don't leave the windows down in the truck, is all I can say.
We'd be ready to move the trucks outside.
Nick, that's your main station.
Jeff, I wanted to, Randy got the FEMA grant for the new truck.
Yes, I do.
Have we budgeted, what was it, 25,000 into this year to match grant?
How long will you get it?
Hmm?
How long will you get it?
I don't know how long it's gonna take.
It's gonna take over a year.
Oh, yeah, it'll almost certainly be over a year.
We'll build that into next year's budget.
That's what I figured you should do.
Okay, so we don't even have to worry about this year.
Unless now, we don't have to worry about it unless we get the, see, we still not out of, is James heard anything from this truck?
Not yet. As far as I understand, there's still supposed to be some more money awarded.
It is,
I haven't
there's
heard
more
any-
money been put into
I've
that.
checked it last couple of weeks and nothing's changed since I think Houston was the last one to get
Well, I-
big thing, so yeah.
I watch that daily because, see, we got a $600,000+ grant in there for radios,
Yep.
which we really need.
Greg had in for a truck and he didn't get it, not so far, but
Not
they got
yet.
that
Yeah,
extra
I've been
money
watching for
in.
them too.
Is he heard anything, Carolyn?
Well, he heard he hadn't gotten it.
He hadn't heard no good news.
He's got the deal on
But
letter.
since then, they put in more money and they're saying they might fund some things that they didn't.
Right.
Nobody's got a letter of rejection yet.
No.
So that's a good sign.
The only one I know
That
for
is a
sure
good
that
part.
has it
Mm.
is Randy, it definitely has it.
I really hope we can get the radios. If we don't
Oh, yeah.
get, we got a problem with the radios because we don't, I don't know about you guys.
Exactly.
We don't have a radio, a truck with a mobile radio in it.
We put in for a different grant too to try to get radios for the truck radios, so.
And, I'm working now, I got information on the Motorola grant for radio,
Okay.
and I'm gonna start working it.
What about those radios you were trying out that were not Motorola's? How'd that come out?
I've got to get the wrong ID numbers was put in them. I'm getting, the guy down here in the next few days to get the right radio IDs put in them, and then I'm gonna start passing them out. And I got one of Randy's back today that was fixed on the warranty, and I'll have it back tomorrow. They called me today and said it was warranted and fixed. So, everybody's looking pretty good on radios as far as handheld, except jumper. And I'm gonna get y'all some in the next day or two. Y'all added a few volunteers too, haven't you? From what, y'all added a few volunteers, haven't you?
They hadn't come on to the station yet, but they come.
Okay. I know we only give y'all had 3 that y'all bought, 2 or 3, one was a brick, no good.
I'm glad you asked. Is there a minimum number of people you have to have at a fire station to be fire stations plus ISOs?
Just be a fire station, you gotta have at least 10 members.
Is that 10 people? Is that training?
I think to a certain extent,
Is
right?
that people that had to have
Yeah.
classes?
Yeah, yeah, I don't think they all have to be firefighter 1 and 2.
At least 1152.
Right,
Yeah.
at least have 1152.
I think so.
If y'all, if they got that, yeah. I'm just wondering, because I know
That is, yeah,
that station is really down in personnel. And
I think it is a
you
certain.
see, I was going
minimum.
back the other day thinking, you got, Rucker and Scooter and John, they put him on the roster, but, he just had cancer, that man can't hardly get out of his house, which let's fight a fire. I don't see how they gonna, I mean, I guess he can clean him on the roster if you just don't show up, you know? But, I don't know who else. They have Brad, but I think Brad's fixed to leave that, if I'm right, I don't know if you are or not. Okay.
They got,
But,
they've got some on the roster, they come to the training meetings and business meetings from what I'm told, but their firefighting is few and far between.
but are the 11s, are they certified?
Some of them are,
Yeah.
not all of them.
I was just wondering, because I knew that was hitting kind of hard on that particular station.
It's such a small area. It's a couple things that fight it. Number one, they don't have a lot of people to draw from for volunteers
Right.
that live in that area.
They don't.
They have a small area. Number two, any firefighter that goes through to try to get firefighter 1, firefighter 2, and then all of a sudden they run a half a dozen calls a year, and heck with this.
I wouldn't either, I wouldn't.
I ain't doing all this just for that.
No, it doesn't.
I wanna fight fires, but I don't wanna.
That needs to be a
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be, but I don't want it. We got all the substations we need.
I agree.
Let Sandy run that.
split.
We can split. I'll take Bill on. They get the rest of it.
Any other new business?
Yeah, I got something I want to talk about on this new business tonight. I don't know, of course Jeff is very aware of this, I'm involved in it. We had trouble with the, on the scene with the paramedic. And the scene was that we had an overturned farm tractor blocking the highway. Sheriff's Department was on scene, and somehow they canceled us, okay? We're not gonna cancel with the block highway. Sheriff's Department got a little bit aggravated, I understand, but that's okay, I understood that. They wanted to know if I think that they were, capable of handling traffic. Sure they are. What would have happened if we'd had a shooting or a cutting or somewhere down, would those two deputies have stayed there and worked the traffic scene instead of going to them?
Right, that would
So
have
we
to
gotta
be-
run those calls. Now Jeff and I have talked about it. If it's a minor fender bender, and we've had them, they cancel us, I'm great with that. But if it's an overturned vehicle, if it's car in the cables, or if it's a road blockage, we're gonna run that call.
And you should.
We are gonna run that call. All right, so anyway, the tractor was overturned in the highway, 2 deputies on scene and the EMS people. I don't know exactly how many EMS people I know, but 2.
Right.
So it was a field trip, and we had one of our firefighters to take a shovel and to put down that fuel so it wouldn't run off in the ditch. We've always taught to do that. That is exactly what we do.
What you're supposed to do.
And she, of course, got into it, or not, I won't say got into it, but she didn't want the firefighters to move anything. It's a crime scene until highway patrol gets on scene, okay? And I understand every scene is like that. And I don't see why, and if it's a crime scene, they get on scene. He didn't move anything. But then she accused him of cursing her, which was as false as it can be. I got Jeff on Sunday afternoon, we all met with him. Jeff got statements from him, he met with her, Crystal and Brandy on that Monday morning. And now, what you told me was, y'all reviewed the,
Brandy got the body camera videos from the 2 law enforcement officers on scene, reviewed it, she found
with who in
nothing.
it?
Brandy did.
With who? Oh, with me in it? With me in it?
No,
I went to see.
Brandy got the body camera videos
I-
from the 2 law enforcement officers.
I thought you said with you in it, that's what I was.
She reviewed both of them. She got back with me and said, Jeff, I see where the firefighters that were on scene did nothing wrong. Appropriate action has been taken with the EMS employee, and it will not happen again. All of them have been told to stay in their lane.
All right.
EMS, if they get on scene before the fire department does, because they are a manned station, yeah, we get our call, we have to run somebody to the station and then go to the scene. If the way state law reads, if EMS gets on scene before firefighters, the appropriate fire department or law enforcement department, they can call command of that scene.
That's good.
Once the appropriate fire department or law enforcement department gets on scene, they have to give up command to that firefighter or that law enforcement officer and go strictly to patient care, because that is their main job, is patient care. They're aware of that, and they're gonna start doing that. I've worked several scenes since, not with this individual that Nick's talking about, but with several scenes with Calhoun County EMS, and they've all worked very smoothly and very well.
I have also agreed with you. You and I worked one together, and the patient was forced into the cable by a tractor trailer. And the lady in the vehicle, her blood pressure went high. So they took her in the ambulance. The guy came out a little bit and talked to Jeff and I and said, they were going to keep her in the ambulance a few minutes. Her blood pressure was coming down. They did not want her to get back out into heat and the traffic. So they did. And in a little bit, both of them was in the vehicle, both of them came out. They left. I've had one other scene, I've had several scenes of this problem. So I'm putting cameras on our trucks. I have them installed.
That's a good idea.
Not a bad idea.
Now, I actually have firefighters that have bought body cameras. I ain't bought anything, you know, but they won't put, I mean, I don't blame them. I don't like that. And I think you said, you wrote us that we weren't angels, and I agree. And you said there were infractions of our firefighters. You didn't name.
Yeah, I mean, the way I
I'd
read
like
that
to know
letter
what is
sounded,
that, being on the
sounded like
commission,
our
I'd like to know
firefighters
what
did
those
something.
infractions
On,
are.
on that scene was fine, but it's been other incidents where they've been on tape, and it's not that they were doing anything wrong on the scene, it's when they're standing over here to the side. Nick's got 2 guys down here directing traffic, 2 guys down here directing traffic, 4 guys standing over here. And I'm not saying this was your guys. And these guys over here are standing talking and cutting up and carrying on, and they're letting 4-letter words fly and stuff like that, and it's being caught on cameras. That's what needs to be cleaned up. Mainly language.
You're gonna have a cuss word, I don't
I
care
agree.
who it is, okay? I'm not saying these ladies do, definitely not, but our guys.
Ideally, you wouldn't, but these are mostly blue-collar guys. I mean, you
But
can have
it
to
is
expect
not
that to happen.
directed to any person.
Yeah, as long as
That's
it's not
really
personal.
the problem with me. So, you know, I still wanna have that meeting, and I am gonna have
It's
that,
Thursday night.
okay?
6
And I'd
o'clock.
like for Greg to be here,
Greg's been invited, every
okay,
fire
cause he
chief
told
in
me,
county's been
he's
invited.
had a lot of problems, I understand. I even had that woman up and down the scene one afternoon, there was patients in the ambulance with a trainee.
Greg had her jump on the fire truck and
The
try to
train.
pull it to the fire.
It was over two
That's not
vehicles.
water.
We had a patient in the ambulance with the training. She was at highway patrol pools on scene, and man, she made it that highway patrolman and was coming back up there talking to him. And somebody asked me, is she trying to tell him who charged him this scene? Jeff, that don't look good. I mean, it's not us.
It's that
She
girl.
need to direct that to them. They need to clean
Hopefully
that
that's
up.
been corrected.
Hmm?
Hopefully that's been corrected.
Now, Jeff, back to this letter that you wrote, I just wanted, I was a little concerned about that because, again, it looked as if you were operating as an employee of the county because you were addressing it to Sandy Run, Cameron.
Address to everybody as far as I know.
I know, but you see what I'm saying? Is once again putting Jeff into a all-over county position where he's sending this letter to the whole county when really you should just be addressing the commission, the commission station.
It's basically a courtesy to Sandy Run, Cameron, and, St. Matthews when it's an issue that involves all county fire departments.
Well, just make that clear if you do it again. I'm not saying that letter was a big deal. I think, you know, but I'm still, all these other stations are still get fuzzy in their heads about whether you work for the county or whether we're a separate thing. And that's the kind of thing that confuses the issue right there, is you sending out a letter to everybody as if you're speaking for the county.
That sounds personally like people looking too far into.
Yeah, but I mean, I guarantee you, they ain't thinking that.
Well, it occurred to me.
I believe it was a curious
We
email.
just
that
have,
was-
we have to keep those lines clear is what I'm saying.
I think mine is clear.
Well, what were the problems? You said you
We
were.
all need to act like professionals.
Absolutely.
Who was it? I mean,
Just people, different departments, different people from.
well, what are we
different
gonna do with
departments.
our people when we get a scene under control, we work in traffic, we got the scene under control, we got trucks and stuff, what are we gonna do? They gonna stand around.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing wrong
Not
with
saying don't stand around, it's just,
You just-
hey, y'all watch your language.
I didn't see you
I
didn't
don't
want to talk
like it when our
about,
people I wanna know what our people's accused of, you know, I don't like it when we come up with something and then we.
Just kind of remember that everybody has one of
Yeah,
these,
everybody got one of them.
everybody's
Yeah.
looking and all that stuff like that. So
professional, try to be
Yeah.
That's
professional at all
why, that's
times.
why we gonna put cameras.
Professional at all times.
Yes, it's not only for this reason. I like the camera system because we never know what's gonna happen.
If you're on the
And
interstate,
we
you
have
really
that
need.
out there, then we can refer back. Not just, not
So-
go on the truck just because of this woman.
No, that's a that'd be a good idea for you to get them on the trucks.
St. Matthews has had cameras on the truck for quite some time now. And one of St. Matthews firefighters was accused of pulling out in front of an ambulance. And he said, no, I did not pull out in front of the ambulance pulled out in front of me, I had to take evasive measures. And in an argument, the chief pulled the card from the camera, made a copy of it, handed it to the EMS people, and, well, yeah, you're right.
Yep.
See, back to the same person, and I hate to say it, but it's the same person every time.
She's a problem.
She was on the scene one afternoon and she came up and man, she was carrying on. I said, what? She said, you got to, he said, if he puts his hands on me again, I said, who put his hands on you? No. And she told me a fight. So I said, okay, let me talk to him. I went and talked to him. I said, you leave the scene now and meet me at the station. So he did. And we got to the station. I was going to talk to him. He's keep him on the station. Then I called him. He lied to me. And I said, that's it. I'm not going to do that. I'll put him out the station. But now I'm really wondering if he was all that guilty.
Sometimes you just don't know, do you?
Just don't believe him. See, that puts me at odds.
Well, it puts all of us
Bam,
in
it
that.
does. Half I am unconscious, and I need an ambulance ride, okay, for my wife. And they send that ambulance, and they got that person on there. I don't want her to put me in that ambulance, and I'm not gonna put her in there, okay? I'll put her in the back of my car, and I'll go to Swansea.
Hopefully they can get that rectified.
Yeah, we gonna do that.
Move on.
before we move on, talking about as far as EMS calling command, when they get on scene, and then whether fire or law enforcement gets on scene and we take command, we want to remember to be courteous when we're doing that. So we're not, EMS gets on scene first and they establish command. We don't want to pull up, get on the radio, say we've got command and do our own thing and not even touch base with them. Alright, so they're there, if they've been there longer than we have, they know what's going on the scene and can give us a basic size of it and some information we may need.
They need to work a little bit different, because medic 2 is command. Who's medic 2 is a truck.
But report to that truck, alright?
Yeah, but let's get a person.
What I'm gonna look into talking with EMS about, especially at the next,
November the 10th.
first responders meeting, is if they are answering, if they're responding to a fire call, they need to go to fire dispatch. Especially when they get on scene and start, so that we hear what's going on, we know what they've got and all this. If they ask us to first respond, or respond an ambulance driver, or whatever, to their scene, we need to go to EMS dispatch and talk with them.
Okay, like,
If it's
yeah,
a fire
I agree
scene,
with
they
that.
need to be
I agree
on
with
fire.
that.
If it's an EMS scene, we need to be on EMS.
But they shoot themselves in the foot a lot of times, just like, she's felt threatened by Brad. My God, I ain't never know Brad to do anything.
Look at it.
The only thing Brad ever did, the only thing Brad ever did was listen to their radio. That's where he responds from more than anything else, because if we on a rec call, 9 out of 10 times, they're gonna respond with us. So that's what he listens to. They got an unconscious patient. They're responding, they have a call to the fire station. He usually responds, because how many times has he got there and they need an ambulance driver? He's there. If he's not there, then they got to tone, if they got to have a fire person, they've got to tone that fire station. That person has got to leave whatever he's doing and get to that scene. A lot of time can lapse. So they shot themselves in his foot with that, because he ain't responding
Well, one
anymore
good
like
thing
that.
about it, there's been several problems with her.
A lot.
You can't
For
cry wolf
years.
it so many times.
It's not-
And
Look,
now nobody
let me
believes
tell you
her.
something. If I would've had that many, if I'd have been a paid employee and I would've had that many infractions against me, I wouldn't have been in this county. I'd have been fired.
Yeah, and I mean.
A long
I
time
can't
ago.
imagine I'll put all
And that's
these
not
people-
being done. It's not being done. It's not right. It's not
Hopefully,
being
like I
done.
say, that can be rectified and, especially in the meeting, that'll be next week. Hopefully that
No,
can be
this week.
rectified.
It'll be Thursday night.
Is there any other new business?
Can I ask one additional question? Is there any, I know EMS and law enforcement has requested new computer systems for their vehicles that will directly correspond to the screen from 911. Is there any plans to put those in the fire trucks, or has any funds been requested of the county to put those in any of the engines?
Not at this
It's gonna be
time.
crazy expensive.
I understand, I didn't know if there was
Crazy
a,
expensive.
did you have a budget number of what that would take, and is that something that you're looking at?
It's something we know
We back to what I said a while ago. I feel that we just as important as any other agency in this county.
I do too, but in that same light, majority of times I'm the only one sitting there driving the engine. I can't drive and run a computer at the same time.
And hold the handheld radio.
That's right. You can't do so much.
And it may not be an issue, I'm just saying, if there was, I know this is something we're budgeting money in county for EMS and law enforcement, I didn't know if there was anything budgeted or discussed for our fire service people.
None of that has been brought up in one of these meetings.
Okay.
None of my commissioners have expressed any interest in
I know
that.
that the firefighters would like to have onboard radio so that they're not having to drive and talk on the
See,
radio.
I have hearing problems with,
Yeah,
we're
it
hearing,
is a-
hell,
it's
well,
definitely
I got
an issue.
to and when you get to driving a truck, you got a siren going, you got the truck noise going, and here you are trying to drive with one hand in traffic and the radio up here with the other one, trying to, hell, I can't hear,
Yeah,
I'm the
good.
radio,
It really is almost a safety.
and I just go on the way, hopefully I'm right, you know?
That's not almost a safety issue,
No,
that
it
is
is
a
a
safety
safety
issue.
issue.
So
It is a
if that
safety
is a safety concern, have we expressed to county that we need built-in mounted radios in these trucks?
The county, they're aware of it, we did put in for a FEMA grant, we're still waiting to hear back from it.
Okay.
As far as the mobile radios,
We get that, we got it cooked.
one station has already put in on another grant, it's a small grant, for, radios, mobile radios for their trucks. I'm gonna encourage people when the V-Safe grants come out, to try to use those toward radios if at all possible.
Jeff, do you have a
We
rough
got all
cost
the
per
hours
truck?
earmarked, so
or
we
what
got
it's
to
cost
That's
to
what
have?
we're doing, that's what we're gonna do, or I'm gonna do.
To outfit, and when we did the 800 radios through the penny sales tax, they didn't get that number from us, they come up with that number, when I say they, Denise Crystal.
Okay.
That's another thing bothers me, is the penny sales tax. And we don't have radios, anything, and yet the other night was $518,000 spent on a new pumper tanker for Sandy Run. You know, and I understand there's also an error becoming there too.
When the penny sales tax was developed, we hadn't really started talking about 800 radios with the fire commission yet.
That is a good point, well, maybe we could do another penny sales tax initiative or something to get, this 911, radio thing is just a night, or what's it, the 800 radio thing, it's just a nightmare, I mean.
Okay, so what's
You
the
can't-
cost per truck to outfit?
When we did it with the $350-something thousand we got from the county for 800 radios, that was split between all departments. All departments got 12, 13 radios just about, Jumper got less. That includes Cameron, Town of St. Matthews, and Sandy River. When we did the grant, did the research for the grant, what else we needed to get 800 mobile radios in all of the fire trucks in the county. A few of the chief's vehicles, because they definitely need one too. And, that total come up to what, around 700,000, Nick?
Yeah, somebody that area.
Somewhere in that area is what we're looking at.
How many total vehicles?
Well, that was when the grant was put in, it's hard to tell what they cost now.
Yeah, that's what,
That's
that's what I'm asking, you don't have,
radios we need now.
you don't have a ballpark idea per truck, I mean, this is $1,000, or this is $5,000?
It,
More than that.
What was the
depending
voltage?
on what type of radio the truck calls for, being a pumper, it might be a split radio where you take the mic out of the truck and use it on the pump panel. Being a tanker, it's just a standard radio. It'd be anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 per radio.
Per truck.
See, just one thing we're doing is we gonna buy Bluetooth mics. If you got yours, this little thing right here. And it connects with our radio,
Okay.
okay? And you can wear it on your shirt collar, you want to carry it. But you can get away about, 20 feet from the radio with this.
Okay.
This would at least make it a little safer when we find, when
Yeah, see,
we drive into a scene now, here you are with traffic backed up on the interstate. Both lanes are shut down.
And you got
You're
two
in the
radios,
emergency
you
lane.
got UHF, or what's that, VH? the
Yeah, it's a
radio?
VHF radio.
So that's going to.
They turn it down whenever they turn us out. They turn that radio on.
Yeah.
See, we actually got people that don't have 800s.
Okay.
Now, they're out. If they get, if we have toned down, it's toned down with a VHF, okay?
Okay.
And simulcast on radio.
Right, it's just a little beat on the 800, but it's toned out on the, and we have beepers, big pagers, and it's toned out on that. All right, then once that tone is laid out, they cut the radio, this VHF radio down.
Okay.
All right, if you got a VHF, a VHF radio, and you get to see into a house fire maybe, and there's an entrapment in the house fire, you can't let dispatch know.
But they could let all responding firefighters,
Right.
they could let all responding firefighters know. If they have that VHF radio and you've got your VHF pager on, or your VHF radio on the truck. Some people do, some people don't.
I
If
don't
they got on
care.
that VHF radio and said, all units responding, we do have a entrapment at this house fire. So, a majority of us are gonna hear it, because I know the majority of everybody still carries the VHF.
Everybody don't have to get it.
So let me make sure I understand this correctly. You have firefighters that are responding to a structure fire and do not have the capability to talk back to dispatch.
No.
No?
Very few.
That
We
is
have a
true.
Oh,
few,
but
but
on VHF, see, some people, we do that, we have actually all 800s.
Okay,
We're very fortunate to have that, okay?
okay.
And, all of our people have one. But we do have, y'all have some people that don't have them.
and that's by design. That's by design. Randy's got some people that he don't want to have that on the radio.
I think all the key personnel have that.
All of the key people.
We have lots of
Yeah.
volunteers that don't show up for anything.
But we're
and
gonna,
everybody
we're
needs
gonna do this so we can get different.
Okay.
Well, one thing I've noticed is that both radios have been talking at the same time, and you can't understand any of it. I guess unless you turn your window off.
We also have dispatchers you can't understand.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a whole nother story, we don't even need to go there.
But it exists.
Let's move the other one.
Any other new business?
I got some bills that needs to be paid. Is that new business or old business?
We're not supposed to
Because
bring these
it
anymore.
depends on how old the bill is.
We don't bring those anymore. You got new rules, right? We voted to do them?
Okay, I have paid, my, 7% of our budget is $3,750. So I've actually paid, $4,102. That's my paid bills by our department, okay? And this is a couple of repair bills for trucks. Compressor and, what else?
Anybody got anything else?
I've been working on the job description some more for the full-time job description, but I would really rather do that as a personnel issue, like executive session or whatever.
Yeah.
And we don't have to do it tonight, but I do have, preliminary one drawn up.
Right, I agree.
I'll let you handle that however you wanna do it.
I think now we can, let's just table that till
Okay,
next time. I wouldn't mind getting a copy of that,
absolutely, I'll.
to look over it, I'll,
If you wouldn't mind,
I think we all need to get a
yeah,
copy.
get a copy of it, look over it, maybe have,
And that's not that we're trying to hide anything, it's just a personnel issue, so I'd rather handle that. Especially one that hadn't even been agreed on yet.
yeah, that needs to be done in enough time. If no other new business, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Second.
I second.
All those opposed, or, excuse me, all those, all those agree, say aye.
All right.